Don't tell me about an island that teleported from nowhere, and then just be like, yeah, you totally can't go there.
See, that's exactly like the Dwarves. That's what I'm saying.
And keep in mind, this is one of my least favorite races, but it would be like the area itself would be amazing. Summerset Isle. Have it in Summerset Isle with that magic island I just talked about.
Yeah, and because it's an island and it's close to other islands.
You know what it'd be? It'd be like Salthazim for Morrowind and Skyrim. It's just going to be a DLC for that game.
Well, like, you brought up Summerset Isle, and we looked it up online, and we found out, yeah, it's like in the bottom left or whatever, and far off the coast or whatever is different isles, and I was like, wait a second. Oblivion was, like, really hardcore into all that piratey stuff.
Yeah.
And there was another game where you play as the Red Guard that I talked about earlier, where you play, like, as a pirate, and there's a lot of pirate stuff. Why don't they just add a lot of pirate stuff? And yeah, they can make it in Summerset Isle, and you can go to different isles. You just get on a freaking boat.
Well, think about it.
Heck, you can have freaking pirate battles on the ship in between. It'll be awesome.
Well, yeah. You can have pirate battles against... You can have ship-to-ship battles against the Aldmeri Dominion, because it's going to take place...
Who doesn't love pirates?
It's going to take place, like, at least 200 or 300 years after Skyrim, because all the Elder Scrolls games take place hundreds of years after each other.
Yeah.
But, it's funny how none of their armor changes. Like, the bone meld. The bone meld is still the same.
They change some...
And their architecture never changes either. Over 1,000 years.
They get heavier. They do get heavier. Look at Dwarven. They haven't even been around, and yet
no, I'm talking
their
about
armor changes.
From Morrowind to Skyrim, the Dark Elf architecture is exactly the same. And
you know what's super kind of like interesting about that? Yeah, it's understandable if the armor does change a little bit in like texture and detail and like, but like, how does Dwarven armor change? They're not around to change it.
Oh man, stop it! You're messing with my mind. You could, I guess, the argument would be that because they're from different locations.
I guess
it's just the way that their culture was in those different locations. Like, because I don't think anybody really knows the government system of the Dwarves. So they could have been like Skyrim, where Skyrim has like kings or what are they called? Jarls.
Well, I think.
I mean, they have like a High King, which is
if
like...
it's anything like Dragon Age, then yeah, they have like a council. This is the history of the Dwarves, as told from the mind of like a 7-year-old. They were dwarves. They lived up on ground. Then they were like, you know what? We want to get to the clouds. We want to see what's beyond those clouds. So they built giant like towers to get to the clouds. They finally did. Then they were like, this sucks. So they moved underground, and then they were like, this is better, because we like it, nice and comfy and cozy. And then they lied to their children and said, don't ever go up there, because if you do, you will fall into the sky. And that's how they keep them from going outside, just mainly to just...
So this the dwarves...
They lied to their children, yeah,
is
generations.
Is this the dwarves from Dragon Age, or from Elder Scrolls?
Just like, this is what I learned when I was playing, like, D&D with, like, 15 people. This is what they told me. It's obviously not, but it makes sense. Because it does kind of match up a little bit.
J.R.R. Tolkien is the one who really made all of that stuff. And I'm pretty sure they were just, like, from the underground. Like, nobody knows where they came from exactly. It's just like one day people were just, like, seeing these other people walking out of caves and stuff.
In it makes sense because it's like in Dragon Age they show a lot of fear for the outside world.
Yeah. Like that one dwarf you bring out for the first time into the sky, he's like, oh.
I was that one dwarf because I always play as a dwarf.
Because I'm scared of heights.
Can you imagine if there was a cinematic in Dragon Age where you just like, oh, you just walk outside and all of a sudden, what the fuck? It just falls in the sky. Game over.
Yeah. But, like, I'm actually scared of heights. So, like, if I'm ever, like, in a big dome stadium or whatever, and I'm, like, on the top thing, and I look up at the ceiling, I freak out. Like, exactly like that. Like, I feel like I'm going to fall. But
it's
I'm
like, yeah, it's
up.
the opposite of, like, claustrophobia. It's like, that's what dwarves have.
And it's so weird because, like, I look down, I'm fine, but then I look up and I'm like, oh, man.
Reminds me of
Like,
that,
it's scary because, like, I become aware of how high up I am.
it reminds me of that guy in the Shivering Isles who's like, I need to stand near a wall at all times, or else the world around me will just crush, and I need to stay near a wall at all times. I need to feel like I can touch something. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
He was one of the schizos in Shivering Isles. I like that. That always reminded me of, like, the Dwarves and how they need to be underground.
What I was saying about Summerset Isle and why I want the next one to be there is because even though high elves I'm not super hype over high elves. I never really play as one.
Who's super
Even the statistics for
Angry Joe's army.
yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. First, Summerset Isle. The reason why Summerset Isle is because they're such a magic heavy race that when you get there, you know it's going to be like the Dwarves, but with magic everywhere. And there's going to be a bunch of cool stuff to do. You just know it. And you're going to be right next to where the Aldmeri Dominion came from. So you're going to be fighting them, too. And you could have ship-to-ship battles. Even in Skyrim, they talk about how the reason why the Imperial Navy lost against the Dominion...
There's a lot of pirate stuff even in Skyrim.
It's because the Dominion would just have wizards who shot fireballs at the Imperial ships. And so think about having ship battles. You have like normal ships with cannons, but then you have elven ships that shoot like have dragon cannons that shoot magical fireballs out.
If it's gonna take place in any, it's gotta be Summerset Isle.
It's like you've been in Tamriel's capital. You've been to the deserts of Hammerfell and all that jazz. Throughout all the games, you've been to Morrowind, which is the ashen places and the volcano. You've been to Skyrim, which was snow and Nords and stuff.
Oh, dude, I got snow blindness from playing Skyrim for so long.
It feels like it's so different that they'd have to try really hard to make that game lame.
Do you want to talk about the blades now? Because we're not forgetting the blades.
Yeah, let's talk about the blades. I'll tell you about the blades.
Let me tell you about the blades. Y'all mother truckers need to know about the blades. Alright, these are not us just like ripping off what other people said.
We have actually said this, and then we found other people
I just like
who agree.
found this blog today, and I was like, this
is exactly what I said.
Yes. Read the first thing.
Alright, the first thing is something that I thought about, too. Like, this is the first time I'm reading this blog that Nathan's talking about. This is totally something I said. When the Blades tell you their history, they tell you that their whole purpose was to find the Emperor, to find the Dragonborn who was going to lead Tamriel and defeat the dragons and whatnot. So their main purpose is to protect the Emperor, or the Dragonborn. And their secondary purpose is to kill dragons. Well, in Skyrim, they decide that if you don't kill Parthalax, the dragon who actually helps you...
Parthanax, right? Or is it
Parthalax.
Okay.
The dragon who actually helps you. He's a good guy. If you don't kill him, they'll stop helping you. And they'll be like, well, screw you, we're not going to help you anymore. It's
no.
What?
Oh, you mean you old geezer? You can't help me? You and you stupid lady who get in my way? Oh, jeez. Ruin my day. Ruin my day, why don't you?
And it's just like... What? You've completely missed the whole purpose of why you exist. The reason why you were formed in the first place was to find and protect the Dragonborn. And the killing dragons thing, that was just something that he did, that you were doing to help the Emperor anyway, or the Dragonborn. I keep saying Emperor Dragonborn interchangeably. But,
Cat, stay. Stay, cat.
It's just like totally stupid. And it's completely racist too, because they act like the dragons are just like all the same. You know, it's like that racist guy who's just like, all black people want to rape and steal. And it's just like, no, you're a retard. You're racist. I'm not gonna hang out.
Don't you mean Redguard?
I'm not gonna help you anymore.
Redguard.
Yeah, that's a 4chan joke. Okay, so I don't go to 4chan. I haven't been there since forever because I'm an adult.
You're adult.
I'm an adult.
I'm adult.
And on 4chan, there's on the 4chan board K, which is all about guns. they have this running joke to where when somebody joins K and they ask, why should I get a gun? Their number one reason is red guards. They just say red guards, and that's why.
It's racist, but it's okay. It's okay because it's funny.
But anyway, yeah, it's totally stupid. So they don't care that you killed Alduin. They don't care that you're a Dragonborn, simply because Parthilax exists.
Why
It's
does Parthilax
stupid.
need to die?
What?
Why does Parthilax need to die?
Because the Blades want him dead.
Oh, well, why don't we focus on our number one priority in Alduin?
Exactly. It's like, oh, well, you know Alduin, you know how we wouldn't have been able to kill him if it wasn't for Parthilax sharing that valuable information? Oh, yeah, well, let's just kill him anyway. No, what have you done? The Blades, you've done nothing to help me.
They don't do anything. Can you kill them? No, I bet you can't.
No. I'm pretty sure they're, like, important characters, quote-unquote.
No, they're not.
So, like, no, like, the game won't let you kill important characters. It's just,
Yeah.
like, they're unconscious now, which is totally gay. Like, in Morrowind, if you killed an important character, it's just like, the world is doomed. Do you want to reload your last save? And if you're like, no, it just lets you go.
That would be cool if, like, you could do that. And, like,
Why can't I kill every person in town?
Isn't there, like, actually...
There's a mod that lets you kill children. Yes, I don't get that mod because I don't want to kill children. But yeah.
Why is that... Who made that mod?
Somebody who wanted to kill children.
That dude's a dick. It's not like I'm gonna loot their body for, like, precious treasure.
Here's the guy on here, he says, if there was a mod to remove the Blades, no one would ever notice they're gone.
Because there's only 2.
Although you might miss the armor and weapons.
Yeah.
They're just the fifth wheel in the wagon.
Okay. Let's read, like, one more. Oh, man. Dude, there's so many, like... we were going to... Remember when we were going to talk about this? Our main complaint was going to be talking about the Blades. Now it's just like, dude... We're obviously not the only people who agree. There's hundreds and hundreds of people who give different reasons why the Blades are obsolete and don't matter.
Yeah. It's like before they were like the Secret Service, but then once the Dragonborn stopped being an emperor, like once Martin died, the Empire just did away with them, so they're kind of like underground. It's just one old man, that useless woman.
Somebody actually on there I read earlier is like, somebody actually compares them to the Brotherhood of Steel in New Vegas.
By the way, I'm not saying she's useless because she's a woman. I'm saying she's a woman who is useless.
Somebody on there actually compared the Blades to the Brotherhood of Steel in New Vegas. They're just kind of like there.
Yeah. And in Skyrim, they're not that much useful either. It's like they house Martin.
It's kind of like, remember, it's like Fallout 4. The Brotherhood of Steel doesn't make... They're not going to have too much of an impact. They've already said that. But they're still going to add them.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody loves the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah.
Even if they are total dickholes in New Vegas and forget their core values. Why don't you read, like, one more on there? Because I really like this blog, because it's super accurate, and it's by the community. It's by the community of Skyrim, like their wiki or whatever.
Okay, here's a pretty long one, but it seems very lore-driven, so I'm gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna read. The Akaviri were dragon slayers before they became an army of dragon slayers that served the Dragonborn. They were dragon slayers before they formed an army of dragon slayers. Their first and most primary purpose was to be dragon slayers. Delphine tells you right at the start the Blades have been searching for their purpose since the last Dragonborn more than 200 years ago. Oblivion Martin was his name. In the game, there's a book that walks you through how the Blades were all in capital cities of Tamriel, and as the Emperor's personal guard, they were also keepers of intelligence about most groups in Tamriel, and about certain individuals, like the Thalmor for the Aldmeri Dominion. In fact, I would suggest that's exactly this power that marked the Blades for complete extermination by the Thalmor. When more than 100 of them were found and killed inside the borders of the Aldmeri Dominion, then the Blades were ordered to be hunted and killed everywhere else. Oh my gosh, the Empire sucks. Not even going to protect their own agents. Delphine, as a Dragonborn...
That's her name, right?
Yeah. Delphine has a dragonborn to serve, swore to be a blade to protect the Emperor, and was then hunted for her devotion. Now dragons are back, and her primary purpose is clear again. No matter how she's going to go about it, she is a dragon slayer. She serves the dragonborn. Except we fall in love with Parthilax and spoil her perfect little future. A dragonborn who's not a dragon slayer wasn't in Delphine's plans, and because it makes no sense. We're born to observe their souls and keep them from coming back over and over again. Why wouldn't we be driven to destroy them all? In her mind, you need to be educated, so she's going to educate you, quote unquote, by making demands. She's entirely off her nut, and besides that, she's being insubordinate. We don't have any option that allows us to answer, so we abandon the temple that can only be opened by us, and we leave her and Esbern in our temple to plot and plan and become a future problem because we can't take control over them.
They destroyed their own story.
Her motives make perfect sense. She's a dragon slayer who serves the greatest dragon slayer of all time, the Dragonborn. We're the ones not making sense. If you look at it that way, I don't have to agree at all. I don't have to agree at all to understand it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I understand what they're saying. The thing is
like it's the whole width of an ocean, depth of a puddle. The blades are like being totally unreasonable about this. But you can't tell them to buzz off. You can't be like, listen, are you serving me or are you a dragon slayer? Because you can't be both. You have to swear fealty to one of two, either your desires or me.
And even then, what's it matter? Because they don't do anything.
Yeah.
There's only two left.
You can't just tell them, like, shut your trap. Just shut up. Parthilax is a good guy. He's staying with us.
And they don't learn anything. It's not like, you know what? Maybe you're right all along. This is a good one.
Yeah, but you don't even get the option to tell them. No.
Binary Domain seems to have more freaking depth than this, because even in there, you hate the robots the whole time, and then later on, you find a good robot, and then he's like your friend, and everybody likes him, and he's super awesome. This one, they're just like, no, he's a dragon, once a dragon, always dragon, friggin' hate him. No.
They're just being racist, and you can't tell them to stop being racist. You just have to decide, no, I'm not going to help you. But you have to decide that on your own. You can't tell them no.
Did you really have that much of a problem being like, oh no, you mean I don't get to have the blades follow me around anymore? Oh no.
No, you know what's really lame? How you can get followers to follow you and make them a blade, and then once you get to that part, they won't follow you anymore because you refuse to help the blades.
Yeah. That seems like if you're going to make that decision, you should have made that like from very early on. Or they should have had like some sort of like
could you imagine a player
foreshadowing, like make sure.
Could you imagine a player putting
rules.
All of their companions, like Lydia and the guys they can get from the companions and the mercenaries and stuff like that?
Yeah, you grow an army.
Putting them in the blades, making your own little private army.
Dude, that'd be badass. Oh, man.
But then the blades are all like, kill Parthilax. And you're like,
no.
Screw you. Parthilax would kill this whole place. Parthilax would burn this place to the ground.
Alduin, you spend the whole game hating this jerk. You finally get to him. You've struggled. You've gotten past the glitchy Dwemer ruins. You've gotten past the blades. You've told them to F off. You've done the silly, stupid other side quests. You finally get to him. You raise your sword. You hit him. Does 0 damage. You're like, what? So, I hit him. I probably had about like 9 battles with him. Then I was like, oh, well,
he's bugged.
Maybe magic doesn't work on him. So I looked it up online. A couple people actually said, yeah, they don't believe magic works on him. And that was my theory for a really long time, because I was like, so if you're a mage, you can just go suck a fat one because you can't do nothing against this guy. So, but I don't think that's what it is. I thought it was. No, I think I read up another one theory today. It bugs. And they tell you have to go back down the mountain, which means you gotta avoid that snow troll, which is a total scarier than Alduin. Then you have to come back up the mountain, avoid the snow troll again.
Yeah, I didn't
and then
know.
you gotta fight Alduin. And if it works, it's a big battle. It really is, and it's epic. And he's like making meteor showers fall on you, and you're like, "Yo, Elder Scroll, I'm gonna read it. Stuff happens. Go back in time. More cool stuff. You shout on him, and then it's super scary. Him and the other dragon are fighting. It's badass, kinda not a little bit, kinda badass. And then you kill him, and then he's like, I am going to go to heaven." And I am just gonna F all the things up. You can't get me. I'm in heaven. You get to heaven. And you have another battle with him. So you're thinking, okay. If that battle was the first battle, and that was super cool. Buggy, but super cool. This one's gonna be epic. This one has to make me satisfied with Skyrim. You just like meet like 3 random dudes and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna help fight with you."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Let's help the Dragonborn." No, guys, I don't want you. Stop. You're gonna make this boring because you're NPCs. Stop it. So battle starts. Charge! They all run out there. Within 8 seconds, Alduin's dead, and I haven't even gotten to lay an attack on him. I'm just like, I'm on hard difficulty. I'm on the hardest difficulty, and they killed him in 8 seconds. I was so angry. I never played Skyrim ever again. That's the first time I actually beat Skyrim. And I was so angry. I threw the biggest fit. And I'm actually really angry right now just thinking about how much time I wasted on it. It's the worst.
You know what's funny?
It's worse than New Vegas' ending when like you have to get through the ending thing and you're thinking it's epic and then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to kill this super badass. Oh, wait. He's just an old guy." Great. All right. Well, awesome. That's worthless.
You know what's funny how you talk about it's super easy? I've actually turned the difficulty level down because they just become sponges. Like, they just absorb damage, and you just hit, like, a Draugr, like, 100 times, and he doesn't die.
No, that's different. I'm talking about Alduin.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, that's boring. I want to hit him 100 times and he not die.
I'd like to hit him a few times. Didn't even get to do that.
Yeah.
Why do I have to have a fight with him a second time and have it not be as cool? That's like even worse than Assassin's Creed 3 when you fight this big dude and then like 4 years or something later then you just like walk in a bar and you shoot him and then game over. That's so dumb. Like, you should have killed him way earlier. Why did you draw out all this nonsense?
Yeah, the dragons in Skyrim, and I had thought this my first playthrough, I was like, they never really seem like big bads.
No.
Like, the whole
they're
time...
They're not even a nuisance, kinda, yeah.
Like the whole time, it's just like... The game tries to make it look like they're the biggest problem, but it's just like... No, they're like a side issue. Like, the biggest problem is the Aldmeri Dominion and the Civil War in Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to kill the Thalmor and the Aldmeri Dominion. I want to drive them right out of the Empire and take the throne for the Dragonborn. But no, I got to deal with dragons. And the dragons just like... I don't know why.
They're cool fighting them up close, but then after, like, your 9th one, you're like, dude, I don't even care anymore.
They literally just seem
They're
like...
all the same.
They literally just seem like a nuisance. Not like the combat or anything like that, but like in the lore.
Oh, yeah, one-hit kill, too, because they can just eat you, throw you up in there, and you're dead. Haha,
Yeah.
game over. F you.
Yeah, but like, just the lore of it, they just seem like a nuisance. They don't
Troll face.
They don't seem like they're a big problem. I'm sorry. I know that in the lore they used to like own the world, but like, they don't seem that big a deal. I mean, they don't destroy a single village except for Helgen, which...
They can go and they can mess stuff up, but not really, because it just, like, knocks over, like, a bowl of cabbages.
Oh, man. They did the same thing in Oblivion with the Oblivion Gates.
It's like, I want to talk to this guy, and I'm making a purchase. Oh,
Remember,
great, now dragons.
There was that city in
Awesome.
Oblivion that's taken over by the Oblivion Gates, and then they never repair it, which really made me mad. When you start the game, it's like the first Oblivion Gate you close.
Yeah, in Kavach.
Yeah. And Helgen's the same thing. Alduin destroys it and they never rebuild it. In fact, if you go back there, it's inhabited by bandits.
I think that's kind of cool, but it would be cool if you could have like had a big mission where you retake it over.
Yeah, and you repair it and everything. And
no.
And
I don't like the idea of repairing because I like seeing destruction. Everybody likes seeing it's like
I like rebuilding. I like seeing the destruction, and
it would have been cool if you could rebuild some of it, but I do still want to see a lot of destruction because that lets you know things are real, things really bad happen. But it's like not really, nah.
You know how like that guy's like talking like I grew up in Helgen, and then they're at the beginning of the game.
Not really.
I was sweet on a girl from here.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah, and it's like after that, you hear about after you tell the Jarl about Helgen, you never hear about it ever again. It's like it never existed. And so it's like there's only 2 places that are destroyed. That one tower in Whiterun is destroyed, and then Helgen. But other than that, like, if a dragon shows up at a village, why should I fight it? Just let the guard deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh, great. Well, I guess I'm not making any purchases here today.
But the dragons never really felt like a big issue. They felt like a side issue, and the really big issue was the Aldmeri Dominion. But they treat it the exact opposite. It's like they try and make the dragons the big issue, but the whole time I felt like, I don't want to deal with them right now. I want to deal with the Aldmeri Dominion. That's what I want to do. I want to kick them right out of the Empire. But you don't get to do that. You get to, like, have a few missions where you kill them.
Can you go back to heaven?
I think maybe.
I don't think so.
I think if you go to that portal that led you there, you can go back.
I don't think so. Also, that's really stupid. Like, getting that portal... I almost forgot about this. Yeah, the portal. I'm glad you mentioned that. You pick up this super awesome staff. It's the best staff I've seen in the game.
I was just thinking about that staff.
Yeah, and it's
like a silver dragon
staff. I
staff.
want to use this. And then it's like, now plug it in here, and you'll never use it again. No! I almost don't want to beat the game now, because this...
Well, it's so like cool. You don't even get the loot Alduin's body in the end.
I was about to say, you don't get any loot. What? You get a special shout! Oh, yeah.
You don't get his dragon soul. You don't get to loot his body. I mean, it'd been cool if you got like some super sick black dragon armor or something from looting him, or something like that. Or something cool. Just something cool, but no, it's like...
It's very anticlimactic, too. It's like it's literally this. It was like, alright, guys, I guess you and me and these other 2 guys, we're gonna fight Alduin. We're gonna end it here. They go, they kill him. I haven't even gotten to make but maybe one swing on him, and then he dies. Nothing special. And then they're all just like, yeah, woohoo! Yeah, woohoo! And they're like throwing their swords in the air. They're like, yeah, woohoo!
Oh no, they're coming back down. It's like American Dad where they have heaven guns. It's like, oh no, heaven swords, get down.
It's silly. It's like, I was literally just waiting there for 5 minutes without moving my controller. Nobody's gonna give a speech. We just killed Alduin again for the 2nd time this game. Nobody's gonna give a speech. You're just gonna continue going. Yeah, woot woot. That's it.
It's hard to feel excited the 2nd time you kill them. It's like, oh, I beat you before. What makes you think that 5 minutes later I can't do it again?
Exactly, especially when you're like weak.
Yeah. But you know what's weird?
And have people helping
other
me.
games do that too, though. They do it like, oh, you beat him. Now he's weak. Go kill him. And then for some reason he's stronger. It's like, these games make no sense.
Yeah, I hate games that are like, yo, he's weak.
So now getting away from...
No, he's already weak. You should kill him right here and now. Why do I have to fight him again? To draw out the game. Oh. Good. I'm so glad that I had to fight Alduin again. Well, we had to let you get to heaven and do that. You could have done that before.
Yeah.
You could have done that before.
I feel like you didn't have to learn Dragon Ren to kill him.
No.